me see if I'm logged in properly. I always forget there's a delay. So right now I'm going to make sure my mic is on. And I'm looking at my computer. It says that it's waiting for me. Oh, and here it comes. So I do need to silence that. All right. Well, welcome to today's live. I thought today we could talk a little bit about the double weave I'm doing down in my studio. I thought we'd work more up in my office here today. I'm going to see if anybody's on. Not seeing anybody. Oh, I'm sorry. Hi, June. Hi, Bella. June, you're from Massachusetts. Oh, I've been through Massachusetts a few times. Beautiful part of the country. And Bella, I know you're from Ontario, same as me. And welcome. I'm glad you guys are here. I hope you, if you have any questions, be sure to ask me. I thought I would show you what I've been working on. This is my double weave sample that I pulled off my loom. So I thought I would discuss some of the issues that I had with it. But first I'll tell you, I'm going to see if you can see how fat this is. It is super, super chunky. I used mop yarn. So it's 16/8 gauge, which makes it super fat and thick. And it feels like the cushiest, coziest, but yet light and fluffy. I'm really excited to make a king size blanket and have that on my bed. So some of the issues I had were to be expected. So I predicted, as always, I mean, anytime anybody weaves double weave, the biggest concern is always the center line, because when you're weaving, you have drawing, and when you have drawing, then you're going to get a tight spot, and then when you open it up, you're going to have not nice. Often it leaves a whole line. So there's lots of techniques to avoid that. But I thought I would just do a little trial and error. I don't have any fishing line. I know I could have got that. A lot of people talk about getting fishing line to hold out the weft so that it doesn't, or I guess it's to hold out the weft so that it doesn't keep drawing in quite so tightly. But I thought I would just space it out in my reed a little farther. So that's what I did. And when I got started, it was it it was too tight. Obviously, I got looking at it, I'm like, this is way too tight. So I spread it out a little farther. I just took out the warp threads and reslayed them, spread them out a little farther, and that helped. I think I actually went and spread it. I could only move one thread over one dent more since I did this sample, but I think that it came out. So this is the center right here. So at the beginning, this is where it was really tight, and I actually just took those threads out, and then so it looks like it's good tightness, but it's not the right pattern because I just pulled those threads out and then it pulled tight. Anyway, so this part up here is where I think it's pretty resolved, and I think that looks really good. What materials are you using for your blanket? So it's cotton. It's cotton mop yarn. Sorry, double weave. Do I mean double thick or double wide? Okay, Bella, so sorry, I'm just reading those questions. So I mean double wide, but what I do is it's on the loom like this. And I weave one layer, then I weave the other layer. Then I weave one layer, then I weave the other layer in a constant motion. So I use one shuttle, and then when I take it off the loom, I open it up and it's two layers, or it's double wide. So it's double weave, double wide. I hope that helps. Yeah, and like I said, it was cotton. Okay, so I think I've resolved the center issue, but I had another issue I was not even remotely expecting. I I made the draft myself, and it's my first time doing a double weave draft, and it took me 3 days before I thought I had it right. It looked right. It took me a long time. The first day I did it, I'm like, it's good, it's perfect, it's right. I slept on it. I woke up in the middle of the night and realized that is not going to work. What was I thinking? So what I was trying to do is picture myself. I'm going to turn off my heater behind me. I try and picture myself as the weft yarn. So I'm imagining myself traveling and how the yarn has to travel. So basically, it's traveling. My shuttle will travel on one layer, then the other, then back on that same one, and then back on the other one. So it's just constantly that way. I have a join here and separate on the other side. So what I did was I made my draft as I normally would. So it's the front. This is the front of the draft, and this is the back of the draft on the back side, which seems normal, except if this is the front and this is the back, when I open it, the pattern isn't consistent. This side also needs to be the front. So I need the front on the front and the front on the back. And the center part needs to be the back. So I had to go back to the drawing board, but I wouldn't have noticed that. I took the sample off. I laid it out on my bed. I was very excited to see how big it was on my bed. And I thought, that doesn't look, aside from the center being not quite right, the pattern doesn't seem quite right. I'm not sure if you can tell. I'm going to hold it up and hope. I think you can see right here, maybe. Maybe better on this side. So if you see, the center is, where's that center now? Oh my goodness. I guess this is the center here. So you can see that the pattern isn't quite right. It switches because it's a crackle pattern. Anyhow, so back to the drawing board I went. So that was actually, I guess, a fourth day, but I didn't spend the entire day. It took me maybe an hour. I just had to go through and change. I just had to go through and change half of the picks I made. Sounds crazy. But the picks that are on the, like I said, you weave the top layer and you weave the bottom layer. So on the bottom layer, all the picks on the bottom layer had to be the opposite. So if it said lift the shaft, I had to lower the shaft. Lift the shaft. So I had to just toggle all the shafts because I use a computer. So hope that makes anything even remotely clear. So that was something I had not expected. I didn't even think about. I just automatically assume the top's the top, the back's the back. You don't even, it's not something you normally even think about. It just is. But I'm realizing there's so many things to think about. I'm really happy that I'm trying something different. I spent years and years and years weaving baby wraps, and baby wraps are great, but they're very similar, right? I go 30 inches in the reed. The yarns are all around 8-2, give or take, but pretty in a similar range, nothing too dramatically different. So I have, with this project, I'm doing so many different things. The gauge of the yarn is so different. So I run into problems with my reed, which still aren't completely resolved. I have gotten 2 knots through, so I'm getting there. But I think what I'm actually going to do about getting my fat knots through my skinny holes in my reed, I think I am going to put a second beam on and just wind a couple or 3 yarns around it and just have them there so I can pull them through and cut out the knots. I'll show you when I get there, and I'll put that in a long form video rather than a live, so I can actually show you what I'm doing. Right now, what I've done is just untied the knots and retied the different strands together so that there's a lot of little knots instead of one big gigantic knot. But that's not going to be sustainable. I think I have 6 or 7 more knots to go, and they're a pain, but I'll get through them. What else can I tell you about this project? Oh, so I've done, I'm doing, like I said, I'm trying out all different things. So I'm trying different yarn. Okay, so not only is it full width of what my loom can take, but it's double weave. So that's another new thing for me to try. So maybe I should have tried, one new thing instead of like 100 new things all at once. But, go big or go home, right? I feel so confident. At least here's the thing. I used factory dyed yarn, which I almost never do. But I decided that was just, I was thinking it's a really big project and I want my yarn to be consistently the same for the whole bedspread. And it's a king size bedspread. I'm actually planning to make 3. I just wanted to take out one more thing where I could make a mistake. I would be really upset if I wove a king size and my yarns didn't look the same. I wouldn't want to start with one and then I wanted it to be the same. I wanted to make sure, so I bought factory dyed. And actually, this isn't one of the colors I'm using, but this was a spare that I happen to have on hand. So I thought it would be good for using as a sample. Oh, another problem I'm predicting to come along. I haven't got there yet. But while weaving this, I realized that I think I'm going to need twice as much weft as what I had planned. So I actually, like I said, I'm planning to make 3 king size blankets. So 2 of them were going to be the same color. 3 or 4, I might get 4. Actually, I think I measured enough for 4. Oh my goodness. But 2 of them were going to be the same color. So if that's the case, I have twice as much weft yarn in stock for those. So once I get through half of the weft yarn, I'm going to assess, see where I'm at, and if I need to buy more, I'll order it ahead of time. I'm hoping to get my first king size blanket off in within the next week. That's my goal. I've been really busy with making videos and stuff, and I haven't had as much time to weave as I had expected to. But I am oh, and I had my sweet little granddaughter here on the weekend, so that took a little bit of time I hadn't really planned on either, and she stayed overnight. So I had 2 days with her. So that took some weaving time, which is great. I love having her. It's not a problem, but I do hope to get back to my loom. Oh, another problem I just thought of. I'm going to just see. Okay, everything's good here. Another problem. Oh, shoot. I've lost my train of thought now. Mm-mm-mm. I don't know. It'll come back to me. Another thing I was going to show you, though. Sorry, I'm so scattered. I was going to show you the salvage. This is a double weave salvage in addition to the whole project being double weave. So I'm going to see if I can show you. I did sew the edges, serge the edges, but the salvage here is actually a little loop. So it's a little hollow loop here. It just gives a really nice finish. I just really like, you can see it really well there, but I really like the look of that finish. The other problem, I remembered what I wanted to say. When I first started weaving on this, I just did a few picks of plain weave. I didn't really think about it, but of course, when I did the plain weave on the end, it sealed the project together. So when I took it off the loom, one end was open and this side was sealed together. And so I had to cut that off, which was really awkward when I got to the center. You can see I left, it's all raggedy. I had some issues there, but um, so now between projects, I did some plain weave, but I did double weave plain weave so that I actually have 2 separate layers. I don't know. That's definitely something I'm struggling with because not, I'm not happy with how it is right now because I'm treating the selvage a little differently. I don't know. I'm struggling. I'm going to figure it out. And we can discuss it, once I figure that out. Um, there was something else about these. Oh, I remember. I showed it in the video the other day a little bit, just saying I'm not happy with this. It was at one of the salvages. There was a threading error. I actually thought it was not a threading error. I thought that it was just where my salvage met my pattern, that it was an awkward meeting there. I tried changing my draft and it didn't fix it. So then I went looking and it was just a threading error. I threaded the wrong heddle. I don't know how I managed that, but I threaded the wrong heddle right where the selvage meets the pattern. So I just went in and fixed that. And I actually fixed it by hand. So you can't even tell on here where I fixed it, but it was a repair job. It's funny, you can see where I started. I was doing all kinds of, I tried changing the selvage to plain weave because I thought maybe it's just the double weave selvage where it's becoming a problem. So I switched it and I Hated that. I hated the plain weave selvage. So I went back to double weave when I figured out it was just a threading error. So I fixed that problem. So many little problems coming up. It's just, it's so, this is why I guess it's easy as a production weaver if you're just weaving one type of thing, because you get really good at it. You work out all the kinks and you don't have problems. With this, I have a feeling every time I switch to something new, I'm going to have problems, but maybe I'll just get better at planning my project better. I thought I planned it really well, but obviously I didn't. Obviously, I didn't think through every little aspect. Also, I'm not very good at, I want to say following instructions. Like I read some information on double weave, but I didn't get any information about like the front and the back needing to be something that you need to think about. I'm presuming probably most people are weaving double weave on maybe a 4 shaft, and then you're only weaving plain weave, so it doesn't matter. The back and the front look the same anyways. I'm using, I didn't mention this, I guess, in this video, but I'm using a 16 shaft loom. So I actually have, the crackle weave is 4 shafts for one layer, 4 shafts for the other layer, and the selvages are each 4 shafts. So 4 shafts on one selvage and 4 shafts on the other selvage. So that's my full 16 shafts are being used. It's going well. I'm happy with it. It's just, it's a learning experience, which is great. I'm happy to be learning something new and stretching myself a little bit as a weaver. And I encourage you guys to try and do those things too. I guess probably most people probably do stretch themselves and try different things. I'm not sure. Maybe you mostly weave scarves, or maybe you mostly weave shawls or tea towels. I have woven tea towels. They're not that different from a baby wrap. They're about the same. They're like 8-2 usually ish, 10-2, whatever. It's in that range. And they're just a little narrower. So essentially, they're like weaving a baby wrap. They're just a little narrower, barely narrower even. I would like to weave some more tea towels, though. I love tea towels. Actually, I had an idea I wrote down yesterday. I was thinking, and this is, maybe I'll make a community post about this, but I was thinking it would be fun to do a tea towel exchange. Would you guys like to do that? I would think that would be so much fun, where I could organize a tea towel exchange and we could all exchange tea towels. I just love hand woven tea towels. They're my favorite. The only tea towels I use in my kitchen are hand woven, and all of mine are woven by the same person, Kathy Broughton of Rock Lake Weaving. She has been so generous. She's gifted me a few tea towels, and I just keep reusing them and reusing them and reusing them. But it's been a few years now, so I think that I'm probably due for some new ones. And I don't even have any that I've woven myself. I guess I've sold every single thing or given away every single tea towel I've woven but one. And it's not even really a tea towel. It's like it's teeny tiny. I actually take it to pottery class to dry my hands on. I don't use it as a tea towel. Oh, sorry. I'm going to read the comments here. 100% true. 100% true. Hi there. That's an interesting name. Over here, read my comment. Well, hi, 100% true. I've read your comment. And if you have any other questions, I would love to hear. I would love to hear if you're interested in doing a tea towel exchange. I would love to do, other things like knitting, but sadly, I have carpal tunnel, and when I knit, I can knit for like 10 or 15 minutes and my hands go numb. So it's not a lot of fun for me anymore. Not that I was ever good. I was never good at knitting, but I've knit, lots of hats and stuff. But I'm going to see, I'm hoping, I know there's a delay here, so I'm hoping to see some more comments on if anyone's interested in. I will make a post about the tea towel exchange though. And other news, I don't know if you've noticed, but I have not been doing I haven't done any studio tours recently. And that's primarily because it gets dark here at like 4:30 in the afternoon. And I have been traveling for these interviews, for these studio tours. And it's just, my eyesight's not that good anymore. I'm not very good at driving. it's hard for me to drive at night now. So I'm a little nervous about getting stuck out somewhere in the winter, in the dark. Anyway, so I've kind of put them on hold, but I do have one coming up soon, and I'm really excited about it. It's not too far from my house, like maybe half an hour away, and he's a rug weaver. I'm really excited to go see his studio. I'm looking forward to it. So he's someone I had connected with a while back, but somehow we didn't end up hooking up. So now he just joined my local weaving guild, and we connected this week, and I'm so excited. So we'll be going out soon. Knitted socks. I like knitting socks. Seriously, June is something I have yearned to do for years. I've been yearning. In fact, when I first learned to knit, the only reason I said I don't even care to knit anything, all I want to know is how to knit socks. And I've never knit a single sock. And now I don't think I can. My carpal tunnel it's, it's just doesn't let me do much. It gets really numb. It used to be a lot worse. It's actually better. Maybe I should try knitting again because it has gotten better since I've sorted out my loom situation. The loom used to make me go numb, but I found some solutions to that problem. And now my carpal tunnel is a lot better. So maybe I will try knitting again. What else have we got? I recommend a book for tea towels? You know, tea towels are super easy. There's actually, if you go on, there's so many free drafts for tea towels, or yeah, tea towels. So I go to Maurice Brassard, their website, and they have patterns. If you click on their pattern, they have all kinds of free patterns there that you can use, and lots of them are tea towels. Also, Handwoven magazine. There's whole issues on tea towels. I don't have a dedicated tea towel book, although maybe I will look them up. Actually, I saw one the other day. I was looking through the Woolery website and I saw one, and I thought I would like that. I don't remember the name of it. I'm going to look it up because I thought maybe I'll look it up and I'll add it in the description of this video after the video's over, because it looked like a good book, and it was a tea towel book. Now that I think about it, I completely forgot. Um, don't you have someone to accommodate you in the interviews? No, I don't. I could trade tea towels for socks. Yeah, I could, June. I would trade tea towels for socks, but I think socks take, I don't know, are they equal? I feel like socks would take a lot longer. For me, socks would take a lot longer, but I don't know how to knit a sock. I've never knit a sock, as I said before. Massachusetts, June. So did you get a lot of snow this past week? Maybe I heard the east side of the country was getting hit, but maybe that was more Buffalo. We got a little bit of the snow from Buffalo, that big storm that hit there. I have snow. I'm looking out at snow now. The ground is completely covered in snow, but it's not a ton. We didn't get a ton. It's just covered. No snow yet. Oh, lucky you. Yeah, I have a friend in Connecticut, a really good weaving friend in Connecticut. She was showing me pictures outside the other day and no snow. I was really surprised. Usually, I don't know. Maybe I guess our seasons, we have very similar seasons, but we just get it a little, we get the cool weather a little sooner and the warm weather a little later, sadly. Okay, well, I'm I, I don't know if I discussed this with you guys before or not. This is a double weave sampler that I did. I think I did discuss this. This is something I did several years ago with, it was a class I took with Susie. I'm not even going to try and say her last name. Rennick, maybe? After I say I'm not going to try it, I try it. She's a really brilliant weaver. And she taught me a lot. This class was great. I was so impressed with the different things you can do with double weave. And ever since then, I've wanted to do double weave. It's just been on my mind, but I was busy weaving baby wraps for years. And then I went to my guild meeting 2 months ago, I guess. And one of my friends there, Lynn Shaw, brought in a double weave blanket. And I was so impressed and so inspired by that blanket that I thought, why am I not doing this? It's something I've always wanted to do. So that was the inspiration for my blanket. Then we were at the guild, we're studying crackle weave. And I thought, okay, I can do this. I'm going to do both at once, a double weave crackle blanket. So that is where this was born, this idea. Am I looking forward to the winter? Oh my goodness, no. I'm like, I follow another YouTuber and she's in the southern United States and she always says, I'm a frost tender flower. And I think so am I, but I live in Canada. I, I don't love the winter at all. I find it, I just want to stay in my house all the time. I, it's terrible. I kind of hibernate and I get sad. I don't know. One year, a couple years ago, I was determined to go out and walk every single day. And I did for a long time until it got really, really, really cold in January. And I guess I should try and do that again. I just getting the motivation to go out and walk. Actually, I ended up almost a year ago, I bought a Peloton. So I ride my Peloton pretty much every day. And I tell myself that's my exercise. I don't need to go outside now. But then I just don't, like a whole week will go by and I haven't set foot outside of my house. My partner, he's in and out all day. So he'll go get the mail and he'll run and pick up. I order the groceries online and he'll run out and pick them up. So I don't even have to leave the house. Everything I like is here. My kids will come over. My daughter brings my grandkids. They show up, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't like winter. In the summer, I'm outside all the time. My garden, I live in my garden. I love it. It's my favorite place. So yeah, no, don't look forward to winter. I wish we didn't have winter, honestly, but I was looking at buying a house in Florida when COVID hit. And then I kind of shelved that dream. Um, Walking inside the house. Well, my Peloton is a bike, so I'm riding my bike, but it's weird, I'm also getting, I'm not that old. My birthday's in a couple months. I'm going to be 52, but I feel my body breaking down a little bit. I did a 1 hour Peloton ride the other day and my knee was killing me for like 2 days after that. It's so sad. I hate that. I hate that. My elbows giving me problems. It's just getting old is no fun. And I'm not old. I'm not. But I feel my body aging and I don't love it. I don't love that for me at all. I don't love that for any of us. But such is life. What I remind myself, and I was telling my partner the other day, is I'm never ever going to be any younger than I am this very exact minute. So enjoy it and make the most of it, right? Because it's only going to be downhill from here, probably. So I do everything I can to keep myself healthy. I try and exercise every day. I definitely eat really well. Well, maybe I do a lot of baking for the channel and I eat my candies that I make and stuff. But I am vegan and I try my best to be healthy. So I'm doing what I can. Thank you. Many don't reach that age. Well, I'm only 52. Hopefully most people will, unless of some accident or some horrible disease. But anyhow, okay, so let me know in the comments if you're interested in maybe doing an exchange, a tea towel exchange. I am going to make a community post. So you know what? I'll make a community post and please check for that. And you can, answer. I'll do a little survey there. Also, I have another video that's coming out in about a half an hour. I did a video about dyeing. Yeah, it's about using fiber reactive dyes. I actually did a presentation to my guild this week, and I thought a couple people approached me after and said that they got a lot out of it. One person said, "Geez, Rebecca, you made it seem easy," and I said, "Well, it is easy." And somebody else said, "Oh my goodness, you just opened up a whole new world to me. I didn't realize I could just dye my yarn." So I thought, geez, I should make a video about that because it really is easy. The only thing I realized after, I didn't give you the formula in the video for, you know what, I'm going to go back and put it in the comments now that I think about it, for the soda ash soak that you need to do. I guess if you're buying dye, you would look on the Dharma or any website, you could find it out. But I'll put it in the instructions because basically I tried to make it super, super simple so I could hold your hand, walk you through the steps of dyeing yarn. It's so easy. I dye lots of things, yarn and, oh, here's some of the yarn I dyed. This is what I dyed for the video. Anyways, I walk you through the steps. It's super simple. I dye all the time. Oh, I was saying, sorry, that I also dye fabric. I've got videos on all that stuff. I've dyed, sometimes I do tie dye, I do ice dye, I do snow dye. I am not afraid to dye. I've got a pretty extensive dye collection and I'm not afraid to dye. I love dyeing. It opens up a whole new world. Okay, good work. In Canada, at least. You know what? The video's a little delayed. So I know that I make comments on videos all the time and expect them to read them in real time, but I didn't realize that it's not real time. So I don't know what the in Canada at least is referring to. I'm really sorry, Bella. Anyways, I think I'm going to wrap this up. It's been half an hour, and in 30 minutes, the dye video will be coming out. What was my most impressive dye? Oh, geez, I don't know about that. I've dyed some things that I've really loved. They've all been baby wraps. I typically dye yarn and then I weave with that yarn. And then um, for baby wraps, I dye the warp and the weft. I can post some pictures maybe in the community tab of some of the nicer things I've done. I also have an Instagram page. It's just called Robin's Nest Weaving, Robbins, which is my business name, Robin's Nest Weaving. So I have an Instagram with tons of pictures. I have a few favorite things, and usually it's my favorite dye work is like I love the warp, and then the weft complements it in an amazing way. So there's a few projects I can think of offhand. I also, if you've looked at any of my baking videos, I'm usually wearing a bright pink tie-dyed apron that I dyed. I really like that, pink and orange. Those are my favorites. I love pinks and orange together, blue and orange. Orange is my favorite color. But yeah, wool is super easy to dye though. And I mean, I dye everything fiber react with. I use fiber reactive dyes. I have acid dyes, but I tend to almost always use fiber reactive dyes on anything I dye. Anyways, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm actually getting close to actually being monetized on this channel, if you can imagine it. There are two criteria to getting monetized. You have to have 1,000 subscribers. I've got 150% on that. And you have to have 4,000 watch hours. And I'm over 3,000 now. So I'm getting close. And I'm excited. Like, being monetized will mean I will probably make like $100 a month, but it will mean that I can feel justified in buying more equipment. I was doing a video yesterday and my battery on my light died and I only have the one light. It's a problem. I need to buy some more equipment, but it's hard to justify when, I don't make any money at this. I just do it because I love it. And I'm sure one day I'll get monetized, maybe make a little bit of money at it. Either way, it's fun. I really enjoy making the videos and I'm so close. I'm fully expecting to be monetized before the end of the year. I'm hoping sometime in December. Seems reasonable to me. All right. Again, thank you so much for watching and I will chat with you again soon. I'm hoping to start doing live videos once a week. That's my goal. So I'm going to hope for that. I'm going to plan for that. Sorry, I'm just looking one more time at the comments. No, the colors do not come out when you wash it. Fiber reactive bonds, it becomes part of the fiber. It will not wash out. You can wash it with whites. I actually talk about that in the video that's coming out shortly. So please check that out. Anyways, thanks again. Bye for now. I don't know how to end the video. I have to go to my camera.